I've got a breakthrough in the 23rd Psalm because Pointus right above me, especially the two last, seem to have been used by the ancients promiscuously and to have been applied indifferently to father and son as they had occasion to mention either. So the one that they're also using is ho. Okay, it's demiurgus. Demiurgus. So like demiurge is something we'd see in English, but that means father. But in the 23rd Psalm, we were seeing like the Lord is my shepherd, but I translated as my Lord guides me, but that would be like my Lord like parents me. So when there's it's spelled different and you see pointes right there, pointes. Was Greek meant to be spoken out loud? Like if they read like any of the Bible to them, like to the church, like would anyone have a copy of the Bible, or would they have a letter that's from Paul and they would read it at church? Like I'm going to go to church and hear the Bible read to me. That's kind of what happened. So pointes. Kind of hard to say. That's not the same thing. It's kind of like Yuda. No, it's not Yuda. It's Yuta. Yeah. I just want to point out this guy's use of the word critical. So he says like a critical temper will read but what he's talking about is like almost like a discerning spirit, like someone that's very logical with the way they read. Like I have a very critical temper with the way that I can like understand, I guess. So I think this is like probably one of the most important things you can learn about from like a translation perspective is the word gnomes, because like we got nom for name, but like the history of barbarous nations too, particularly that of Egypt, also indicates something similar in treating of the division of Egypt into what are called gnomes. For it says that Athene, to whose lot Sais fell, is the same goddess that has Achaia. And if you remember, the Achaeans were fighting in the Trojan War. And the learned Egyptians will tell countless similar stories, but I do not know whether they include the Jews and their country in the distribution and assign them to some spirits, because like I don't know, because like they because you get a you get a spirit that's assigned to you. So I think Athena would be the goddess that has had Athens. So he's talking about the Tower of Babel here, and the story of the Tower of Babel is everyone spoke the same language. They were building, like they were progressing too fast. Like everyone was doing a really good job working together, and God decided to confound them. But I didn't know that the town was called Shiner, and it was interesting because the voice automatically called it Shiner. I have a feeling it's called Shiner, and that's where the name Shiner comes from. Is from like before the Tower of Babel. Like it's the people who can understand everything. So the Wisdom of Solomon was removed from our Bible after like it's removed from the Protestant Bible, but it's very mistranslated, I think, in the Catholic Bible, but and also in the book entitled Wisdom of Solomon, where wisdom and confusion of languages, whereby I'm in the blue now, division of the inhabitants of the earth has arisen, are discussed. This is what is said concerning wisdom. Moreover, the nations in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous and preserved him blameless unto God, and kept him strong in her tender compassion toward his son. So like while these people were like not able to communicate, not able to progress, like we went and figured out like who's moral and who's not moral. And clearly like that means that, and we sick the Roman Empire on them. The Roman Empire would kill the shit out of them. So when we were talking about like spirits, like when you have the Holy Spirit, who do you have the Holy Spirit with? If you follow Isus, you get Isus to be your spirit. So like you don't get the bad demons, you get the good, the eudaimonia. So right above my head, it talks about like the embodying souls, the doctrine of the embodying souls, not through transmigration. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds like it has to do with like the doctrine of like cloning, like the belief that like Zeus is around, like or like that you have an eternal soul. I don't even know. Transmigration for me would be to like migrate your soul to another body. So here he says that the word shiner, which being interpreted is the shaking of teeth, and symbolizes they're losing the means of their support, and there let them dwell. So the shiners are super powerful, and like everyone knows that it's a children's hospital. I have a feeling that like they're scary, powerful, like billionaire type people that are like secretly Jewish, but I'm not sure. So shaking of teeth would be like, I'm so afraid that I just realized that this is not a good situation, that this secret society has gone to that point probably. So here he says that like the angels give people their language based on like what they deserve, or like what the based on like the plan, and like he'll put you in an awful place based on like whether or not he wants you to prosper, or whether or not he like wants to put a ceiling on you, and like I don't know. And then we get to find out who that guy is, and is he for astrology? Does he think astrology is real? Did people believe in astrology back then? Astrology is like believing that the stars can tell you the future. He says that it cannot possibly be otherwise than is ruled by the stars and their different groupings. Okay, so, and a consequence of this opinion is the complete destruction of free will, and a further result is the praise and blame are unmeaning, and the distinction between acceptable conduct and conduct deserving of blame is lost. So, like, he is against astrology, which, like, sure seems like a lot of people were that like believing in astrology, because the commentator at the bottom, it says it was Origen's belief that the stars were living beings capable of receiving commandments from God. So we call ourselves the stars. If you ever heard the song from Hollywood Undead, Hollywood Undead, the rock band, how long can I act like the stars mean nothing to me? It's probably the song Hear Me Now. It's not Young. It might be Young by Hollywood Undead. But this guy says that, like, it was his belief that the stars are living beings, but he's, like, clearly against believing that the stars, like, are actually productive in human affairs. What is productive? Involved in human affairs. Like, you're productive. Like, you're working in human affairs. Further, how the stars are not productive in human affairs, but merely indicate them. Oh, further, that men cannot attain to inaccurate knowledge of these things, but that the signs are set by divine powers. What is the cause of the signs? Astrology seems to have some elements of truth, but good book 3 of the commentaries on Genesis, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Okay, so he, like, clearly he believes that the stars are omens, because, like, he believes in the cycles of the universe. So, like, he believes you can predict the stars. Like, you can predict an eclipse. But, like, does that mean that, like, they're, like, meddling in human affairs and, like, making sure that, like, your mom is being mean to you? No. So he says that a godless belief and unholy principle is, I'm in the blue, that believers are said to believe in God because they are compelled by the stars to believe. But we would ask our opponents to tell us what God meant by so making the world, that some men are effeminate creatures and lead lascivious lives through no fault of their own, while others who are in the condition of wild beasts through the revolution of the whole heavens, because God so ordered the universe, abandon themselves to the most savage and inhuman practices, murders, and piratical, like being a pirate, like robbing people, outrages. And why need I speak of the incidents of human life and the sins of men in their countless variety? The champions of these noble principles may free their fellow men from all guilt, but they make God the cause of all that is bad and blameworthy. So clearly, like, he thinks there are levels of sin there, and he says, like he doesn't think God is, like, controlling things that much, and he thinks those people, it's not their fault that they're, like, effeminate and gay, which is surprising to me, because I thought that Origen had, like, talked about that being, like, a sin, and now I'm confused now, because he's like on the opposite side, and I thought that was him. Like, I thought, like, everyone knows this, you say it, and then now he's going, like, the people that are, like, violent and like, they're robbing people and they're murdering people, those are the bad people. And, like, Origen's tough. Like, it's tough understanding Origen.